The San Francisco 49ers are 4-0. Stick around. Let's talk about this one. Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte. Jason Aponte. Welcome in, 49er fans. The 49ers are 4-0. Scored 30 points again. Brock Purdy was 20 for 21. Set a new franchise record for the San Francisco 49ers completion percentage record. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. I kind of warned about all week the overconfidence against the Arizona Cardinals. And the Arizona Cardinals aren't tanking. They're not tanking. They're playing hard. Their coach is changing the culture. And you should have expected this. There's nothing that you can really say that's poor about the offense, especially in this game. I mean, I believe they punted the ball one time. As of right now, the offense was great. You know, I think they had like 45, less than 50 plays, I believe, on the field. The defense, though. I think it's time we start to talk a little bit about Steve Wilks and his philosophy of playing off coverage and hoping the pass rush gets there. I wasn't necessarily worried as much about Joshua Dobbs going down the field on the 49ers. It's obvious that they wanted to run the football, which kind of plays into the 49ers' strengths as their great run defense. But that off-coverage stuff is going to get you beat against better teams, especially if you're not getting to the quarterback. And it's weird to see, like, Hollywood Brown have nine catches for 97 yards, and there's coverage busts everywhere. And that's the type of stuff that when you go against better teams, you've got to clean up. And now we've got a 4-week sample size of this is how the defense is going to primarily play their coverage. I would say that if it was against a certain personnel, or if you felt that they had a ton of speed on the field and everything, I think that I would be able to rationalize it a little bit better. But it seems to just be, this is the coverage that we're going to run regardless of who's in front of us. Whether it's the Cardinals, whether it's the Chiefs, whether it's the Bills, it doesn't matter. They're going to just play this off coverage. This is the plan, the off coverage thing. And when you're not getting to the quarterback and you're not finishing, that's going to get diced up. Compounding the problem is that Isaiah Oliver isn't particularly good right now in pass coverage. Ambry Thomas definitely doesn't need to see the field, unfortunately. I don't want to see Ambry Thomas playing unless it's a blowout. And that's just me being nice. I've kind of warned against it. You know, the young man had a good run when he was a rookie. I think a lot of that was D'Amico scheming around that, and they were getting pressure, and he was able to help him with shading someone. But if Ambry Thomas is on the field, that's not a good thing. It's just not. And during the preseason, it certainly felt like Ambry Thomas was developing into a nice little story in terms of, well, now you can bring him in and put Lenore in the slot. If he's out there, yeah, I don't want to see Lenore in the slot anymore. We'll deal with Isaiah Oliver as it goes along. But if you're an offense, if you're a quarterback, if you're game planning, how do you attack this defense? You attack the secondary. You go at the guys not named Mooney Ward. That's the way you've got to do this at this point. And the Cardinals did that. And other teams will. Other teams will. You can bet that, Mooney doesn't travel. So if you're talking about a receiver, just move him to another side. That's it. But yeah, the coverage thing is probably the only concerning thing. I think you have more concerns with the defense. It's crazy to say this, and I hope this doesn't come off wrong or as a hot take or anything like that, but it legit feels like the defense is behind the offense right now. Because what can you say about the offense at this point? In a game where Deebo Samuel didn't even catch a pass, in a game where George Kittle caught one pass, Christian McCaffrey has 4 touchdowns. Brandon Ayuk has over 100 yards. Brock Purdy is incomplete on 1 pass. I mean, for once, and again, this is four games. For once, the 49ers offense is carrying this team, and you don't really have to worry about whether the defense is playing as well. Now, look, 4 games in, at this point, you know that this team is gonna definitely peak at the end of the year. It's been their MO. It's literally how they do things. So this defense is obviously not a finished product, but these first 4 games, you really haven't been tested by the personnel or quarterbacks that can really start to crack the secondary. What I mean is Pittsburgh's not going to be able to go down the field on you. The Rams weren't able to go down the field on you, although Puka Nacua, who's lighting everybody up, for whatever reason because he's really good, had a really good game in week 2. Week 3, the Giants can't throw the ball. Week 4, the Arizona Cardinals have a limited passer. So as of right now, if you're an offensive coordinator and you're coming in and you're playing the San Francisco 49ers, how do you attack them? Well, I wouldn't say that you can actually run the ball against them. I wouldn't say that. But I would say that you would attack the secondary. That's where you would have to. And away from Mooney Ward. So again, it's not a finished product, but Sunday Night Football is the Dallas Cowboys, and CeeDee Lamb is no easy cover, right? Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, they've got guys that can go down the field. It's up to Dak Prescott to make the throws, but first real test is next week, and we're going to find out. We're going to find out pretty quickly. Shout out to everybody that's in here, almost 7 minutes. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Almost 170 people in here. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. A lot of content coming down the pipeline. Niners Nation, we're writing all week. Sprint right option tomorrow. State of the franchise during the week. All of those things. But, that's my thoughts on the defense. I want to talk about the offense because having under 50 plays, I believe, or they might have just got to the 50 mark. Having under 50 plays and being able to put up 34 points, 35 points, it's just insane levels of efficiency. Obviously the 20 for 21 stands out. Right? That obviously stands out. But Brock Purdy was throwing the ball down the field to Brandon Ayuk. Like 3 of them. One of them where Ayuk was wide open. The one that he threw into double coverage was a beautifully placed ball. And then I think probably the one that's not going to get the most attention is the Ayuk back shoulder throw on 3rd and 4. Again, like if we're talking about, stats, then obviously that knocks your socks off. But I think what we were looking at, and I think I've kind of talked about it a little bit, is that the offense still didn't feel like it was clicking, right? Like it still wasn't there, right? We have the week 2 missed throws. We have some of those throws that you need to clean up in week 3 against the Giants. But that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And in a game where you get Deebo Samuel without a catch, I think George Kittle had 1 catch. In a game like that, for Purdy to play that way, and obviously, Christian McCaffrey, is really good at football, by the way. Oh, by the way, there were people that didn't like that trade. I wonder what they're thinking about it right now. But when you look at this offense, that's what it looks like. You only get a certain amount of plays when you're on the field, but if you make all of them count in that way and you're efficient and you're able to punch it in, no field goals today, I don't know how you beat this team. I really don't know how you beat this team. And of course, there's going to be games where, that they're going to get Deebo involved and they're going to get Kittle involved. But kind of what we were waiting for with Brock was, okay, he's going to hit the throws that are there, right? But he's just a hair off on certain throws. And now in this game, and obviously the Arizona Cardinals aren't this exact, huge measuring stick on defense. But now those throws down the field are being hit. So now you're attacking all levels of the field. You're attacking short, intermediate. You still have to worry about the run, play action. All of those things are there. All of these things are what I kept saying is like this offense still hasn't peaked yet. It hasn't. And while we wait for the defense to get up to snuff or at least get more pressure from the defensive line, shout out to Javon Hargrave who actually had a sack today. Or whatever it is that's going to happen. I don't know what the adjustments are, right? Like, is Wilkes going to bring more pressure? Does Wilkes, tighten up with man? I don't know. I know that he's been pretty good with making adjustments. Today, it felt like the Cardinals made an adjustment in the second half because this game kind of felt like it was getting away from the Cardinals. And then, of course, at the end of the half, what do we have? We have a touchdown drive on 2 busted coverages on Ambry Thomas. And then all of a sudden, the game flips. But as of right now, if the offense is playing this far ahead of the defense, even if the defense puts up a performance like that, if you're scoring at that level, if you're operating and being efficient at that level, I think it covers whatever warts you see on defense right now. And it's insane to me to say that, right? Like I would have thought, no matter what, with Christian McCaffrey, with all these guys, I know we thought this offense was going to be high powered, but I would have never in my wildest dreams ever said that I feel like the offense is ahead of the defense on this team. And they are. The Niners are known for their defense. They're known for, pressure, sacking the quarterback. I don't know if that's the story of the 49ers this season. I don't know if that's the story. I think right now it is the offense. It is the fact that Brock Purdy seems to be getting more and more comfortable. And those throws down the field are things of beauty. I mean, that throw to Ayuk with 2 people on him is just placed beautifully. All Ayuk had to do is put his hands out. That's the stuff that I never thought I would have ever heard, is that the 49ers offense is ahead of the 49ers defense. And you know what? By the end of the year, that might flip. That might absolutely flip. And it doesn't have to flip. That's the beautiful thing, right? Like, it doesn't have to flip. Like, the 49ers can still go where they need to go if this defense plays like that. The 49ers defense is not bad. Let's make sure we say that. They're not bad. It's when you're looking, you're thinking about, okay, what are the possible problems? What are the struggles, right? Like, no defense is perfect. How do you attack them? Well, as of right now, it's got to be secondary. It's got to be secondary, and it's got to be people that are not Mooney Ward. But if this offense is operating like this and playing like this, my goodness, man, I don't know how you stop this team. And it can cover up whatever deficiencies are happening with the defense in a game, right? There's definitely going to be those games where the 49ers defense is lights out, don't give up anything, right? Like, I would love to see that be Sunday Night Football. But if the offense is going to just play at this pace and with this efficiency, I don't know what more you want at this point. Shout out to everybody in here, almost 200 people. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Keith, shout out to you, buddy. Thank you for the donation. Thank you, Zach Ertz, for dropping that TD. Kept my parlay alive. Go Niners. Yeah, it certainly felt like the 49ers were about to give up a garbage time touchdown, but he dropped a wide open touchdown, and then I believe on 4th down it was incomplete. But if you want a little bit of a concerning thing, I will say this. If you pin the Arizona Cardinals on the 1, or any team for that matter, any team, having them walk it down for a touchdown is not a good thing. It's just not. Now, obviously, that had no real effect on the game. Obviously, the 49ers won. But those are the type of things I was concerned with in this game. But again, when the offense is scoring in this fashion, you can't really nitpick too much. You can't really get too worried. You can say, hey, and shout out to Keith for joining the channel. Appreciate you guys. If you want to join the channel for call-in shows, all of those things as well too, I implore you guys to do that as well. A lot of cool stuff for the Spicy Squad. Shout out to you, Keith. You can look at it another way too, right? Let's spin it another way with the defense. It looked like Mooney Ward had a chance at 2 interceptions in this game, right? Like the second one, he kind of slipped and the ball was there. So if you make those plays, then you get off the field and things look a little bit different, right? It just feels like as of right now, the 49ers defense is just a step behind the offense. But the good news is the 49ers offense is lighting things up to the point where who's the offense that is behind them or with them, right? Like Miami puts up 70, they go into Buffalo, you see things kind of unravel when you play another good defense, right? So that kind of was just like a 1-week thing. But as of right now, who's the other offense that you're looking at that you're saying, man, like when they're clicking like that, like what are you supposed to do? Like a lot of what Miami is doing and what they're very good at is that they've got speed everywhere. And Mike McDaniel knows how to manipulate all that. The 49ers employ motion like that, but they don't do it the same exact way because they don't have the speed to do that. So they're running a much more traditional offense in that sense. Everything's going to evolve, right? Like everything evolves, right? What Kyle built, Mike builds on, and Mike's going to, Kyle will build on Mike and then up and up and up. But the reason Miami's so successful is because of their skill players. And then Keith said, I would say KC and Buffalo. Buffalo looks really good. Buffalo, for the first time, looks very scary because they are running the football now. They are running the football with James Cook, with Latavius Murray. I watched that whole game. James Cook, Latavius Murray, and Damian Harris, they can run the football now. Now it's no more Josh Allen, chuck it. Just run around and throw it down, or Diggs is down there somewhere. Josh Allen stopped turning the football over after week 1. He looks like that guy again. They look like that team. Unfortunately, today, Tre'Davious White, it sounds like he might have tore his Achilles. The way he was reacting, it doesn't sound good. But they've got enough offense to keep it going. But the Bills look good. KC, I feel like, hasn't figured it out yet. They haven't figured it out offensively. You always say KC because of Mahomes, but other than Kelsey, like, where's the offense coming from, right? Like, it's not Sky Moore, it's not Marcus Valdes-Scantling, it's not what's the young man's name that's there, Kadarius Toney. Yeah. So, I mean, I would definitely say Buffalo. Weston, thank you, man. CMC is 100% the front runner for MVP so far. Yeah, the thing is he's obviously the offensive player of the year right now, right? And I think that's why they have offensive player of the year and MVP, because MVP is primarily a quarterback thing. But when you look around the NFL, who's the quarterback that's just dominating, right? Like, he's absolutely dominating, and you're just like, my God. Is it Justin Herbert? Can you put him in MVP when they're losing games? Like, I don't know. Is it Josh Allen? Has Josh Allen kind of put himself in a position where he can be in that conversation with the way he's been playing lately? I think he can. But for sure, hands down, right now, 4 weeks in, Christian McCaffrey is the 100% offensive player of the year. And yeah, I don't know, Weston. That's why I'm going through it. Like, it seems like the way the NFL has it is offensive player of the year is for non-quarterbacks, MVP is just for quarterbacks. But there's nobody that's dominating right now at quarterback. So this argument has more legs than we've ever thought it would because of the way he's playing. He's completely transitioned the offense. He just transformed it. He's turned it into a juggernaut. He does it all. It's absolutely an argument at this point. It is absolutely an argument. It's 4 weeks in. Quarterback's going to get more love, so we'll figure it out. But 4 weeks, I don't think many people can argue that right now Christian McCaffrey is the MVP in football. Let's see how it goes. They definitely favor quarterbacks when it comes to this. So if Josh Allen continues to play like this, it's going to be hard to knock him off of that. But I don't see the argument right now against him after 4 weeks for sure. So shout out to all you guys. Almost 20 minutes in, almost 180 people. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Man, I mean, I really today couldn't believe that I came to the realization watching this game that the offense is literally now the engine of this team now. And this team that went to the Super Bowl in 2019, it was the defense. And the offense did enough and made plays. But this team is now an offensive team now 4 weeks in. That's just the bottom line at this point. And it's kind of refreshing, just a little bit, right? Defenses have off games. Teams come in with good game plans. It happens. Offense is always going to be king. If the Kansas City Chiefs, let's say tonight in an hour, which I doubt, let's say they go out there and Zach Wilson starts lighting them up, right? And they get down, right? Let's just say, hey, the Chiefs are down 21-10 going into the fourth quarter. You feel amazing about their chances in the fourth quarter because of their offense, because of their quarterback. That's kind of got to be the feeling right now with the 49ers, and I think that's refreshing. Because if the 49ers were down by so many points going into a game in years past, you never had that confidence, and now you do. It's a testament to how well Purdy's playing. It's a testament to Christian McCaffrey. It's a testament to Brandon Ayuk being a hooper and Kyle Shanahan's play calling. And, Deebo Samuel didn't look like he was 100% today. Cool. You got out there. You toughed it out. Get ready for next week because we're going to need that. All hands on deck next week. This team is finding ways to win games even when they're not putting up their best effort. They're putting up 30. I think this is the first 49ers team to put up 34 straight weeks ever, if I'm not mistaken. If the broadcast, maybe I heard that wrong, but I thought I heard on the broadcast that this is the first 49ers team to put up 30, at least maybe in their first 4 games. Maybe that was the stat. But if the defense steps up just even a little bit more now, right? Let's like a little bit more, like, and we start to see that pressure that we thought we were going to see, or maybe like we saw in week 1, I don't know, man. Like it's hard not to be excited as a 49er fan. And I know there's going to be a ton of criticism, whether it's the national media, talking heads, maybe people that want to downplay what the 49ers have done. Well, who have you beaten? I would say to them, if you're the team you think you are, you should be beating these teams in this fashion because you're better than them. That's what you should do. I've never understood that argument. Well, you beat the Cardinals and you put 35 on them. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, we did what we were supposed to do. If we would have put up 17, you would have just been going crazy and saying, well, the 49ers only put up 17. They're not really like that. So when they do exactly what they're supposed to do, it's a problem. So now everything's going to shift from, well, you haven't beat anybody in the first 4 weeks. Go and beat the Cowboys now because we don't believe you. That's what you're going to hear. You're going to naturally hear that. I would argue that the Cowboys got to show a little bit more than the 49ers do in this game. They're going to come in there and they're going to remember what happened last year, Sunday Night Football. They understand that everybody's kind of pecking them 1 and 2, Niners ahead of them. They don't like that. Cool. You're going to get the Cowboys' best punch. So defensively, whatever was going on in this game, fix it for Sunday. Fix it for Sunday. That's it. You're not going to be able to get away playing that far off on CeeDee Lamb. You're not going to be able to get away if you're that far off and they start dumping the ball off to Tony Pollard, which I think now that I'm thinking back on that game and I'm ready already after to dig into the Dallas game and start the content on that because obviously the game has high stakes and the rivalry. But I think what we forget too in that divisional game, things kind of shifted when Tony Pollard left the game and he was injured. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out in this game. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I've been waiting all year so far for this one. This is the one I wanted. This is the one I was circled. I'm sure this is the one that you guys all circled. But you got a whole week now. Seems to be, hopefully, knock on wood. I know Kyle's probably going to speak in a few minutes. No injuries again, right? Let's figure out what's going on the back end. Let's figure out this cornerback rotation. If it's going to be Oliver in the slot, let it be Oliver in the slot. Don't kick Lenore in. Don't put Ambry out there. That's it. Ambry should be in blowouts or if we're just decimated in the secondary. But you have a whole week to figure this out. You need to tweak this game plan that you've been going with. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you understand that there's certain things that you can do better. Maybe the defensive line plays better. I don't know. It seems like right now Dallas is getting their linemen back. I think they got their 2 guys back, if I'm not mistaken, today. They're just missing one more, Tyron Smith, if I'm not mistaken. So he might be available for this game. But you've got to get pressure on Dak Prescott, and you've got to ramp up the pressure going forward for almost anybody. But, this is going to be a great test for the offense now against the Dallas Cowboys. I know we talked about the Cardinals, and this is what we should be focused on, but this is what we're looking at right now. But the Cowboys defense is going to be a very good test. Now, obviously, Trevon Diggs is out for the year. It's not something you want to see, but it is going to be interesting to see how this offense rings the bell or answers the bell. And now Brock Purdy's coming off his best game. And what he seems to be doing now, and this is what's the best part through 4 weeks. This game was good. Okay, this game was all right, but this game was good and this game was good. And you're stacking your games and you're getting better. And everybody's getting healthier. I mean, those throws today to Ayuk were incredible. And they're down the field in the middle of the field. And then the throw on the back shoulder. Those are the things that you wanted to see. We know that he can hit the intermediate throws. We know that he can hit the wide open throws. He put a ball in between 2 defenders for Brandon Ayuk perfectly. And he probably couldn't have walked it there better. On 3rd and 4, you don't call a run play. You don't call a screen. You call a dig route. Or you call a comeback. And you throw the ball on the back shoulder to Brandon Ayuk and put it beautifully. That's the stuff. When people say, well, I need to see a little bit more from Brock, I think that's what they were talking about. Because we know what he is. But if he's doing all of those things now, my God. And again, my big takeaway from this game, no way that I would have ever thought the 49ers offense is ahead of the 49ers defense. And I never thought that would be the case at any point. Maybe I had too many expectations on the defense. You bring in Hargrave and you have all these guys. I agree. But knowing that your team, even if you're down, you feel like you're still close, you still got a shot. That's a feeling 49er fans haven't had in a long time. You know, maybe you can dig yourself out. Maybe you can come back in certain games, but you never felt confident. I think there's confidence now that the 49ers can come back and throw themselves back into games and actually get back into games. Like, we haven't seen them have to do that because the 49ers defense, regardless of whatever we're concerned about, has not played poorly enough to give up that many points. But for the first time, you feel confident that the 49ers, if there was ever a game where, let's just say, crazy stuff happens, punt return, fumble, and it return for a touchdown, and all of a sudden you find yourself down, 17-0, whatever it is, you feel confident that you can come back with this offense because of the way they've been operating. And it never feels like it's ever getting away from Brock. I mean, today he had one incompletion. Yeah. Aaron says, so cool seeing our team with a crazy offense. This is what I remember. I don't want to give away my age, but that's what I remember when, like in 94 with like Steve Young and all of them. That's what I remember. But this team's identity was so rooted in like running the football and playing defense. And it's like, nah, man, we can bust you up however you want. You want us to throw it on you? Cool. You want to try to take away the throw? You probably can't, but good luck. We'll run it on you. And this has to do with the skill players. It has to do with the quarterback. It has to do with the play caller. All of those things can be true. It in no way is having all of those players and having Kyle Shanahan like some sort of indictment on Brock Purdy as it's been presented and I've seen over and over. Because if anybody could have operated this offense, then anybody would, but they're not. And he's just playing well, man. And now the little things that we wanted to see the improvement on, deep ball accuracy, that's really the last thing that we needed to see. The decision-making is still there. I can't believe that I'm saying this. The 49ers offense is ahead of the 49ers defense. It's just something I never would have thought I would have said. And Aaron, thank you again, bro. I'm old like you, bro. That's why it's so cool to say, hey, we're not old. Don't say that. We're not old. Aging backwards, man. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in again. Over 175 people in here. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Sprint Ride Option tomorrow with Andrew Pasquini. A bunch of stuff this week. We got to ramp it up because it's Cowboys week. We'll do a little bit more Cardinals talk, obviously Monday, State of the Franchise Wednesday, but I'm juiced for the Cowboys now. That's it. Like, that's really where I'm at. That's where my focus is. I'm sure this team definitely didn't overlook. They didn't overlook the Cardinals at all. I think you guys kind of forgot. Jonathan Gannon said that crazy comment before the NFC title game. I knew for a fact Kyle saw that, stuck it up on the bulletin board, and wanted to make sure he had this one circled. And then Steve Wilkes doesn't like them either. So this team was dialed in for this one. Obviously, shout out to the Cardinals again. I didn't think that they were going to roll over and die. That is the most that they've lost by, but they were very competitive if you watch this game, especially like in the second half, which was kind of the opposite of how they played. But yeah, the Cardinals aren't tanking, man. Good for them. I like that. That's actually pretty cool. But I'm going to get up out of here, guys. Enjoy the rest of the games. Enjoy Sunday Night Football. Enjoy the win. Have some adult beverages. Hope you guys catch some bets and everything. We'll talk later in the week. And as always, go Niners. Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte.